We're going to be going to our video, which is a video of a new type of robot called the Mule that's created by the U.S. Army. Let's go ahead and roll that tape.
Designed to do the donkey work on the modern battlefield, the Mule is no dumb workhorse.
Well, essentially, it's rocket science on wheels.
The secret to this go-anywhere mobility lies in the six-wheel design.
Essentially, every wheel has an in-hub motor. It's independently driven. Anywhere they go, anything they go through, the Mule will be able to follow them.
MULE stands for Multifunction, Utility, Logistics, and Equipment, and it's being developed to help soldiers in three key areas: transport, fire support, and mine detection. The counter-mine configuration will have the ability to detect, mark, and neutralize anti-tank and anti-personnel mines. The assault version will be fully armed with an integrated weapon system, as well as the reconnaissance and surveillance tools needed to locate and destroy the enemy. And the transport mule will take most of the weight off the soldiers' backs, carrying over 2,000 pounds, more than a ton of equipment and rucksacks. Unlike its four-legged counterpart, this beast of burden will always go exactly where you want. The Mule can be driven by remote control using a simple hand device, but it can also be programmed to carry out fully autonomous missions using GPS and navigation sensors.
The fact that this is an autonomous vehicle, that's the most critical thing about it. We tell it where to go, and it'll go there.
Once programmed with the correct...
Okay, so that was the U.S. Army Mule. So that's an impressive device. You load it up with tons of stuff. It follows you wherever you go. It can go where you go.
We've built a miniature mule. That one over there on the floor that has four wheels it won't do anywhere near what the big mule does, but it does have the capability to carry 300-pound payload and outfitted with the proper GPS and electronics. It can do quite a bit of things that would make it pretty impressive.
Now, it's interesting that existing technology such as GPS can be applied to so many things. Everybody can use that. What are some of the difficult problems in robotics? What are some of the challenges that have to be surmounted to have really useful robots?
Well, it's always comes down to software, usually. The software development, and most robots have embedded systems, so they aren't going to be subjected to online hackers and so forth. But there's still a lot of software development that is going on and needs to be continued.
Now, are most of these robots remote controlled where there has to be a human operator telling it what to do? Now, this one can find its way using GPS.
That's right. That mule can find its way. Just if you tell it where you want it to go, it figures out the best way to get there and will actually be able to navigate around obstacles without human intervention.
But how far have we gotten with artificial intelligence where you can give sort of a general goal to a robot and it figures out, exactly how to do it without further control on your part?
Well, we're just really getting started in that, and that mule, I think, is one of the first ones that has the capability to do that. But it's really impressive what they've done so far.
Now, have you done any work on military stuff yourself?
Oh, yeah. Over the years, I've worked on many military projects. A lot of them I can't talk about.
Too bad. I'm sure it would be very interesting. So what's really driving robotics? I get the feeling that the military is driving the development of robotics more than anybody else because they not only have the need for it, they also have the resources for it.
Well, for the really sophisticated, high-end robots, that's true. But for the low-cost robots that sell for $200 or $300, like the Roomba, that's predicated on a big market. I mean, there's a market for millions of those, so they've spent a lot of money developing it, and they did a really good job, and they've got the price down to where almost anybody can afford it.
Now, people have been talking about robots probably since at least the 1940s or earlier. It hasn't quite gotten into our lives as much as some people thought it might. Is there anything that's hindering the development? Is there anything about robotic development that's turning out harder? than we thought it would at first?
That's really a good question. I can't think of.
Is there a bottleneck? And we can have the mechanical arms with the articulated fingers and all that.
That's coming along quite nicely. There's several companies in Japan that have actually walking robots that have 2 arms with fingers that can pick up things. And I think we have an
In fact, we just happen to have a video of that, which we're going to show you now. This is a video of the Asimo robot made by Honda. Let's go ahead and show that tape. Okay, so there's no soundtrack, so we can talk right over this.
Now, this has been under development for 12 years, so they've put a lot of money and a lot of engineering into this, but you think in 12 years they would have gotten farther, although this one is really amazing. It can walk up and down stairs, it can run, it can hop on 1 foot, it has 2 arms that can move and pick up things with fingers that act like human.
Now, is there somebody behind the curtain directing it what to do, or is it figuring out what to do on its own?
I saw a personal demo. I was at one in San Francisco, and it's kind of like the Wizard of Oz behind the screen. This guy with all these computers are running this robot, which needs to happen. It's not doing a lot on its own.
But it's got great articulation. Look, it's going to unscrew the top of that bottle. I mean, the fingers look really realistic.
Yeah, they're really well done. I mean, amazing amount of dexterity for a robot. But on the other hand, there's surgical robots that a physician can operate from the other side of the world that have more precision than this robot has.
So is this sort of a test just to demonstrate, certain capabilities rather than something that a person would really buy because it's useful?
Yeah, they're not selling this robot, and I don't think it will ever be sold in this form. It's just too expensive, and it's more of a PR type of a thing for the car company.
So you can see the size of the robot, unless that woman is really, really tall. Okay, so that's an example. It knew to release the cup at the right time. It didn't just clutch it or crush the cup while it was holding it.
Right.
Now, what about vision? Because could that robot see where it was going?
I think it has cameras that go back to the operator, so the operator can actually see from the point of view of where the hands are, what it's doing.
Hi. How are you doing today? My name is Casper, an interactive personal robot, developed in partnership by the Autonomous Systems and Biomechatronics Lab at the University of Toronto and Crossway. I can be useful for many different tasks around the home. My primary goal is to assist people with cognitive impairments, like Alzheimer's disease. One of the first things I can help with is regular kitchen activities like preparing meals and storing and retrieving food items in the cabinets and fridge. I can help older adults choose a recipe and prepare either breakfast, lunch, or dinner. I provide them with cognitive assistance as well as increased accessibility so that they can live independently in their own homes. My favorite food is pizza. It's delicious. Derek, are you here?
Yeah, I'm over here.
Hello, Derek. It is time for lunch. Let's go to the kitchen to prepare something together.
Okay, Casper.
sandwich together. You are going to need 3 ingredients. First, let's find the bread.
Okay.
If you can't find the bread, I would be happy to show you where it is. Please check in there.
Oh, look, the bread, the tuna, and the mayonnaise.
If you have all the required ingredients, we can start preparing your tuna sandwich. Press the video to the next step.
Open the can of tuna by pulling the tab.
If you need to, I can replay the video for this step anytime. Or tap next to go to the next step.
Close the sandwich and enjoy.
We are finished making the sandwich. It looks very delicious. Please enjoy your meal at the table.
This looks delicious.
It sure does.